Currently, the Escanor hype is absolutely great. It is awesome. Literally, great festival. 3.5 was enjoyable, but now a lot of you have been asking me, A, can you quickly make a video on the end of year? I'm skipping Escanor. I don't know why you're doing that, please. Okay, just understand this. I get it if you're waiting and saving to see what it is. That's perfectly fine. But in the end, please don't skip Escanor. He is great. He has like an insane banner. Please, I'm making this video for you to talk about it, but please don't skip Escanor. He's actually good. He is. I don't know how to say it to anybody else, but later on when this happens and like people are like, oh, I couldn't pull Escanor because, or I don't have Escanor, I want him now. You're burning yourself by not, literally burning yourself by not getting him. Literally, like fire, get it, Escanor. Why? But if you are saving for the end of year or you're wondering what that could be, today we're here to talk about it. I'm gonna give you a quick like breakdown. Also, if you're a new player asking why are people hyping up this end of year, what does that mean? Is it something big after this? Realize that this is a big banner. 3.5, 2.5 is always big. It is. Last year was Festival King, which is a great character for still PvE and other content. This is still a great character. When people hype up a end of year banner, how that works is it's basically something that's really good coming after this. But again, they're both good. Both 3.5 and end of year will probably be outstanding units. It just doesn't matter. Escanor is too good to pass up on. Keep that in mind. You did not make a mistake by, summoning for Escanor, that's fine. Just know that, again, every single year, how they have done it is they released a really good unit. Those have been Meliodas', right? So for the first year was a Meliodas, a Meli, very good unit. Then there was Trainer Meliodas, a very, one more time, very good unit. Again, this year, we'll see what they do, if they plan for a Meliodas or if they plan for something else. With that being said, let's talk about it. Who is the end of year? What could it be? Here are all the possible options. Let me know what you think, and I'm actually curious. Let's jump into it. So to start off with it, the first person that everyone's been talking about and everyone's been speculating to be the end of year, Mael. Two things that I wanted to address in this, all right? First, if it is Mael, I will be super underwhelmed for two reasons. Because one, great, you did Mael. How are you going to make him a light unit? I expect Mael to have Sunshine as Grace, obviously. How would they make him a light? I get it, people are saying like Corrupt Estarossa could be a festival unit, but would they really make Corrupted Dark Estarossa? Mael? Technically Estarossa, right? But could they? Could they actually make a Corrupted Mael, and that's the first unit they release for him, to milk a second one later on down the line as a light version? I don't really know how that's going to work per se, but yes, it could be Mael. The thing is, I highly doubt it's a light unit. You just had a light festival. You have him in the story. It's a perfect time to drop him. But I think if they were to like release it, it's most likely a green, red, or blue. It's one of those, right? It can't be a light. You just had a light festival. There hasn't been a precedent where they released a light unit back to back like that. Again, they could, but it would more likely either be a dark, which is also pushing it, or a just regular attribute unit. That makes the most sense. Fully up to you. You decide what you want with that one. I could be completely wrong, but it doesn't make sense to release light Mael. So if it is a Mael unit, if Mael does land as the end of year, first thing is it's going to be a little bit underwhelming for people that thought that he's a light unit, because no, you just released light Escanor. I don't know if you're going to release another light unit just back to back like that. You could, Never could get away with anything, but up to them, they could do it. But I think if they were to release a Mael, it wouldn't make sense, but it would only make sense if they release it under the color wheel of red, green, and blue. That'll make a lot of sense if the storyline follows through. It's green, it could be like that. So it would be fine, I guess. We have green Sariel as the current one there. You have blue Margaret, you have red Tarmiel, so like the team will kind of formulate itself as different colors. But again, let me know what you think, right? It could be a regular color wheel Mael. Could be regular. Yeah. For the second unit, right, there is currently this in the storyline, and it just ended perfectly to where we actually got introduced to Demon King Meliodas, right? That's how it's going to be. It would make sense that they get away with doing this as a unit, just for the reason if it's a Meliodas, they'll get away with titling it as that, and they'll also get away with having Meliodas for another year. They'll win in both scenarios, and they'll have a very, very hyped unit. So it could be that they do go off of this route, but what unit will he be? What will his kit be? And all of that will be like a really weird thing, because we have a dark Trainer Meliodas that's like broken. Will they make another dark Meliodas that quickly? That's also another thing that's really under a weird boat if they were to row it. So I don't know. They could do it. They definitely could. But if you look at it also, we just had, again, a light unit. Will they go into a dark unit that fast? It would make sense. They just kind of want to hype up the game, give a little bit of a thing there. So they could get away with it. They did only do, 2 units this year. One at the beginning of the year, if you want to consider it. And not even at that. It was last year, technically. So this year, we had 2 light units. Would make sense if they get away with this one. Who actually knows? But I would say that it would make sense if it's a dark unit. It would also make sense if it's either Zeldris, which is again the next option. But I don't know if it's too early in the story to actually introduce this as a character. They did just introduce the final character for Escanor, so I can't even use that as an example. They just introduced Escanor as a character. That is the final Escanor you get at like the final part of the story. So they did that. If they do that, they can do this. I'm telling you now. They could also go for the story one. I'll show you the video here. But in story, there is another Meliodas. It is Purgatory Meliodas, the one that fights over there. Again, I have no idea how his kit would be. And if it were to be a Meliodas, it can't be a dark Meliodas. Most likely a red, green, or blue. Following off of that. But again, does Meliodas need another festival unit? He has 3. This will be his 4th festival unit. Doesn't make too much sense, but they could get away with it. They've done Meliodas for 2 years now. I think they'd do it for a 3rd. It's usually the most hyped thing, and like their quota seems to be multiple Meliodas units per year. It's just because it's Meliodas, he's the main character, and it's a marketing thing to bring back players and all of that. Remember, Trader Meliodas was like the greatest sales I think Grand Cross has ever had. I made the revenue video. Other than before that, dude, Trader Melly sold. All right, he sold so much for the game. Elizabeth for Japan sold insane amounts. I think that they'd go off of it, but who really knows? They could not, I don't know. And again, next up, they could also get away with this. Demon King Zeldris. Yes, they definitely could. Again, market a dark unit. There's only these options. Like, I have no more. I've tried searching and, like, thinking what else could it be. It's Mael, a Meliodas, a Zeldris, and that's about it. It has to be a Holy War unit. That's for certain. But the only characters we literally got introduced to are these ones. Fez Wild, hey, yo, Fez Wild is possible. Who knows? They could literally get away with that too. But end of year should be one of these. They could also say screw it, do something else. But I think that it's either Meliodas, a Zeldris unit, or just Mael. There's no other option. There's no in between. Those are the ones that make the most sense. And the marketing also makes sense. Also, how they'll do it right after the Escanor unit. But if you also like mimic it back all the way until the first year, when they had Escanor, Melio was right after, and he was also in the story like right after. So it all just matched. It all worked perfectly. It all flowed in a really good dynamic. So they could get away with marketing it as that to where they do drop. This image haunts me, but what is that face? But they do get away with, again, you know, Demon King Meliodas. It is a hyped unit. People are looking forward to that. They get away with marketing it as a different character also. They might even go out of the way of saying, hey, it is a Meliodas, but it's not a same named Meliodas, which means you can use this Meliodas and Trader Meliodas on the team because it's technically the Demon King inhabiting the body or whatever, and that is actually Demon King Meliodas and not this Meliodas. Hence, it's a separate Meliodas, but for marketing purposes, it's the same Meliodas. They can do whatever they want. This is Netmarble. I'm thinking of the minds of Netmarble. Next thing you know, no Camilla ever coming out. She's actually fake. And there's a new collab. It's actually going to be what everyone hates. It's Straining Things Part 2. And boom, we all uninstall. Boom, Netmarble. And again, if we do go for last year, just remember where we're going to actually find out about the entire festival will be for JP on the 28th or the 29th, right? You'll first have the teasers start off. Again, Escanor didn't have teasers, by the way, so who knows, okay? Escanor did not have teasers, but if they do have teasers this time, you basically will find out 3 days prior to December 30th. So basically, let's say actually the 26th, rather, because 3 days before the stream. You'll find out what the entire hype up is, what it's for. We'll get some hints, and hopefully that gives us an idea. If, let's say this, just so you know, if this, I mentioned this already, but if this is Liz, if this unit on December 23rd is a step up Liz, you are getting a Meliodas. There's no way around it. They've done it every year where they drop a Liz and then they drop it for Meliodas. It makes sense, okay? Last year was which Liz? It was Red Liz. The year before that was what Liz? Is this the wrong year? Yeah, never mind. This is Green Liz over here, and then this is Red Liz. So every single year, they have dropped it efficiently where it's a Liz into a Meliodas. If you see a Liz, that like, slap yourself and say, oh, that's Meliodas. Oh, we gotta save. Like panic time, right? Because they've always done it where Liz coincides with Meliodas. So if there is a Liz, most likely there's a Meliodas to follow through. So that's what it currently stands at. We'll find that out again later on. You still have the Christmas banner to go through and a step-up banner, and then you'll find out if the unit is in fact Meliodas, if it is in fact Demon King Zeldris, if it is in fact Mael. Those are all options, but who really knows? They can do anything they want. They can go off of a different character. They can go and pull Gilda out of story and just use her as the thing. They could go and do Ragnarok as the end of year because they haven't done Ragnarok in centuries. They could do that too. So it doesn't really matter. It could be like Ragnarok Freya as a festival, and that's the New Year's festival. Who knows? It's all possibilities. But again, with that being said, that's all I got for you here today. I want to talk about that. I'll catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe. If you have any other possibilities, let me know down below. With that, yeah, peace out.